Hey, you guys. Okay, today I'm going to be explaining another one of my controversial takes. Today's topic is the one piece of financial advice I thought was like 100% safe and that I wouldn't get canceled or yelled at on the internet for. And this teaching isn't really even about money when you boil it down. It's more about who you are and your character. So what I'm talking about is giving. So who knew encouraging people to practice generosity would cause such a heated uproar, but did it ever? Yep. Oh, sure enough, whenever I'm editing someone's budget and looking at it or showing people how to plan out their paycheck using every dollar, one of the most common comments that I get about how dumb it is to give away a portion of your income when you're trying to build wealth. How could she keep giving in there? This is unbelievable. I mean, they keep going at it. And I'm like, okay, I get it. Yes, when you are giving money away, you technically have less money to pay off debt or build wealth or whatever it may be. Like, yes, that is true. I understand that. But also, can we just talk about what a good thing giving is, regardless of where you are financially? Giving and living your life with an open hand is pretty incredible. And I guarantee that this will transform your relationship and your progress with money. Now, if you are somebody on the spiritual end of the spectrum, right? So like you're a believer, you're a Christian, like whatever you could put in your religion of whatever you worship if you do. For me, I am a Christian. And so there is a thing called the tithe in scripture that I do practice. And the tithe is 10% of your income. It talks about this in the Old Testament. And then Jesus talks about giving a lot in the New Testament. And so for me, there is a spiritual element that not only is it out of obedience, not in a legalistic way, but I do believe God sets this up for us to be reminded that, hey, this is all His anyways. And when you do give, there is a level more of trusting, I think, a higher power, right? And in my case, God, than just myself. And there is something about, hey, I'm going to work on who I am in this process and opening my hands and being a selfless person. And I am going to be giving and creating that habit in my life because ultimately I believe spiritually that is what God is. He is a selfless God. He is a giver and we're created to be more and more like Him. We are in that process of being refined. And I think when it comes to your money, there is something about letting go of that control and saying, hey, I am going to trust you in this, and I am going to be obedient, and I am going to give 10%. And for the tithe specifically, it is to your local church. And so Winston and I, we do this. And every month, it's like, hey, we're going to put money aside, 10% for a tithe. And we've done that from the very beginning. And my parents even talk about this. They tithed into bankruptcy and out of bankruptcy. So it's not one of these things either, a prosperity gospel, that if you do this, you're going to get a BMW in your driveway when you come home, or you're gonna get $100,000 raise next year, like, something crazy, because some people go off on that end. But I do believe something happens inside of you. There's a level of contentment. There is something that is produced in you when you are a selfless person. And I think from a spiritual aspect, that is huge. Now, if you're not somebody that is a believer or, you have a spiritual practice in your life when it comes to money, let's just talk about just like the humanity, right? The humanity and your posture and your heart towards money. Because if money becomes the thing that you're after, and that's it, and that's the only goal in mind, and it's the only thing you're looking at, and you're obsessed with it, and it does become the thing in life, you're gonna hit that goal, you're gonna get that car you wanted, you're gonna get the thing, and you're gonna realize, wow, that's like, it's temporary happiness. And then it's gonna be the next thing and the next thing. It's never gonna be fulfilling. But what's fulfilling is when you honestly, again, live your life with that open hand, financially speaking, and you help people and you experience the act of giving. There is a joy in that can't be bought. There's a joy in that is unbelievable. And Winston and I have done some anonymous stuff, and I can just tell you, it is one of the joys that we are able to do. And we also have places and ministries and foundations that we personally love and have a heart for that we give to every month because we believe in what they're doing. And for me, it's always around the idea of anything with kids. So whether it's like fostering or adoption, like anything in that spectrum, I just feel like if people have the resources to be able to do it, like that's where I want to give. And what it does is it moves you beyond yourself. And that's what giving does. It's really a beautiful thing to go on that spectrum from being selfish, where it's like all about us, to actually looking up and looking for others and being generous. So I know for some of you, you're thinking, yeah, Rachel, that's great. But listen, I'm drowning in debt. I'm trying to budget, but literally have no money. What do I do? And listen, I hear you. I know it's been a really hard year financially for a lot of people. Last year was. So what I would say is be as diligent as you can, but I would give something. Like even if it's $10, but start that habit. I always tell people, give a little until you can give a lot. 10% I think is a great baseline, but if you can't get there, give something. Start the habit, because people believe, well, if I just had more money, I would give. And the weird, messed up truth of it is, if it's not a habit in your life and you get more money, your lifestyle just seems to match up to that, and you just get used to that and used to that. And it's not as easy, because you're just continuing to live in the habits you've been living. So once you start getting out of debt and you have an emergency fund and you start to get control of your money, you're gonna find more margin, and that's where you can up it. But dream big about this, you guys, because generosity is a part of money that a lot of people don't talk about, but it is something that is so, so huge. It is huge in who you are. So find that thing. Again, for me, it's foster care and adoption. Like, I had this goal. I'm like, how fun would it be to pay for somebody's international adoption one day and just like write the check for them and just do it? Like, have things in your life that you think, I want to do that. I want to do that, because that is going to spur you on to do things bigger and better than just what's in you and what you want for your life, right? So changing your family tree is huge, and doing all the Ramsey baby steps, part of that is to change your life and change your family tree's life. But we say to live like no one else, so later you can live and give like no one else. And giving doesn't have to be a thing you dread or you hate to do. Again, making it small and a manageable habit now. And as you start to do better, open that up and continue to give more and more. So whether you're, spiritual or not, whatever, the science though is there. It is proven that people who are generous have higher levels of joy, have healthier mental health stability, and there's just something about living your life selflessly that affects all areas of your life. And it's a pro. It's a pro. So give it a try today, and even download EveryDollar, because when you start your budget, you'll see on EveryDollar, the very first category is giving. So put something there. I challenge you, put something there. And be sure to follow up and let me know in the comments how you have decided to practice generosity, and send this video to a friend who might feel a little stressed about money and challenged when it comes to giving, and maybe this can kind of help direct them and guide them to a new way of thinking. All right, you guys, as always, make sure to take control of your money and create a life you love.